Modern materials and new production methods and a progressive look. 1967, this car seems to come directly from the future. In its time, the Bayer K67 research car decisively impressed to the future production of serious automobiles. Long snout with dual headlights and a crisp rear. Everything packed into a screaming signal color. This is how seasoned sports cars looked at the end of the 60s. But the Bayer 67K should never compete with Porsche and Alfa. As a carrier of technology, it shows the possibilities to use plastic in car construction. The chemical giant Bayer from Leverkusen in Germany, located between Dusseldorf and Cologne. In addition to drugs and pesticides, a third pillar, high-quality materials.
Polyurethane was invented more than 75 years ago by Otto Bayer here in Leverkusen. It took quite some time before it was clear what you could do with this new material. Bayer then took on the project management and subsequent commercialization in the development of this vehicle. And the new vehicle was presented at the Hanover Messe in 1967, hence the name.
With its 2-liter 4-cylinder, the Bayer 67K delivers 120 horsepower and, due to its good aerodynamics, scratches at the 200 kilometer mark. The big feature, even the chassis is made of a polyurethane sandwich shell without any metal reinforcement. Although there were cars in plastic construction there before, but usually had a frame made of steel tubes. The chassis of the K67 still appears to be stable enough.
After more than 6 million load cycles, no changes show up on this test body specimen. The dynamic fatigue tests confirm the high strength of the self-supporting floor plan reinforced with fiberglass plastic.
The advanced technology should of course also be appropriately packed. That was important for the creators of the K67. Hans Gugelow is responsible for the design, and he is a design professor who has already made a name for himself with groundbreaking designs. In his portfolio, award-winning office furniture and above all timeless designs for electrical appliances, especially for the brands Kodak and Brown. He provides the design for the elevated railway for the city of Hamburg. He did not live to see the realization of his first car designs. Hans Gugelow dies in 1965. Although a prototype, the creation of Gugelow acts as if a draft for a complete design of production sports cars. From the long hood to the trim rear spoiler included. The round taillights are provided by the company that donated the Technics of the K67. With its expertise in plastics processing, Bayer is definitely able to produce a vehicle body and attachments. The company from Leverkusen rely on their cooperation partner BMW for the Technics. In 1965, the first driving attempts took place with the naked chassis, equipped only with the powertrain chassis, still without a body but on public roads. The experimental vehicle showed was unimpressed, even in the component-murdering steep curves of the Avis. Today, Hans-Peter Nowald drives the K67 more relaxed. With the designed Gugelow body, the Sport Coupe is more noticeable today than almost 50 years ago. For a sports car, BMW proves to be the ideal partner.
I'm sure that at the time, this project was discussed with many other car manufacturers. BMW was able to convince because this concept fit BMW's corporate strategy, and because BMW also had the knowledge and resources.
The Bavarian Motor Works donate the techniques for the K67. The 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with 2 twin carburetors is also at the work in the BMW Sedan 2000 Ti. Also, transmissions and axles are from Munich. It is the company from Bayern, however, which is registered as the manufacturer of the K67. The interior of the sports coupe, simple but equally innovative.
In the interior, we find the first foam dashboard. At that time, the cockpits of cars were still hard and compact. Bayer already showed with this concept how attractive and comfortable, but more especially how safe one could make the interior.
The K67 is the pioneer of a new business era for Bayer. For half a century, the people from Leverkusen worked closely with the auto industry together to develop and produce parts of various plastics for almost all manufacturers in the world. However, the K67 brings the realization that a vehicle built entirely of plastic today makes little sense.
The K67 is very important to Bayer for us. We have come to the realization that an optimal technology and economical combination of different materials is the best solution. Today you can find about 50% from a vehicle is made from plastic, and tendency rising.
After testing and introduction, the K67 disappears from the scene in the late 60s and lays in a warehouse of the Leverkusen Group. Just in time for the 40th anniversary, Bayer restores the prototype and shows it again in public. The K67 illustrated 50 years ago the ways in which plastics can be gainfully used in automobile construction. Progress has shown the Bayer K67, a true classic technology carrier.